Okay, so can any of y'all name me one thing that a drag and drive car needs to have that this car don't have? I mean, it's going to be something right around this area. Right here. Any clue what that might be? Yes, you're exactly right, a trailer hitch. And we don't have one on this car. So now that we've got the traction bars all installed and that's all adjusted and set up the way we want, now I'm going to start taking some measurements here and see if I can figure out how to put a trailer hitch on this car. I do have a trailer hitch that I would like to use. Let me grab that real quick. I can remember where I put it. Right here. This is a real old school trailer hitch. It's an old draw tight hitch. I don't know how old it is. Yes, I do too. Look here. It says right there. It says 61 to 64 Chevrolet. Right there. Now apparently this will bolt right onto a 61 to 64 Chevrolet, which is not what we have here. We have a 63 Rambler, a 61 to 64 AMC, which, you know, the AMC used a lot of stuff from General Motors and Ford and Chrysler to make their vehicles. So the thing about it is, this is the hitch we're going to use. And we're going to have to fabricate some bracketry to make this work. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I just want to get in here and just take a couple measurements. Outside to outside the frame rails, 43 inches appears to be. Yeah, 43. It's a weird number. It's a weird amount of inches, 43. But that's what it is. So I'm assuming it's still 43 from here to there as well. Let's take a look. Yep. About 43. It's actually a little bit over 43 and a quarter there to there. So we're going to want this bracketry. If we hold this trailer hitch up here, and these two holes are what go to the bottom of the bumper, which we're going to have to reinforce that a little bit. That makes us need to have some bracketry about right here all the way across. So that's right in line with the leaf springs. So what we're going to do is shorten this to where we can move it on out a little bit further and put our crossbar right there. This is the inside plate that I fabbed up here. it's tapped for a 3/8 bolt, 1/2 inch deep. So I'm trying to get that up in there so that I can mark where this needs to be welded on too. Almost will go, but what I'm going to need to do probably is pull this down a little bit. Okay, we're jigged up here with the trailer hitch pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these holes in there, drill straight through so that I can put a bolt through there, bolt it on. We'll put some tack welds on here to weld these plates on. All right, we got all the painting done. Turned out pretty good. So this here, I was noticing this thing was welding real easy. Like really nice beads. Sometimes weld just weld real clean. I thought it was chrome plated. This thing is actually stainless steel, the whole thing. So that's pretty cool. When I cut it off is when I realized it. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to put this back up on there and check it out and kind of let the car down and see where the hitch height will be. I kind of wish I hadn't already welded this on like I did, but I got so excited about how clean it was welding that I just wanted to keep on going, because I'm just hoping it's not too high for a trailer, because the car sits kind of high, but I don't know, we'll see. Worst case scenario, I just have to cut the welds off, maybe move it to the bottom, and then put a spacer in where it actually hooks to the bumper. So not a big deal, but hopefully I got it right the first time. What it's doing is it's going up right here and hitting the where that plate sprung out. This one on the right side here kind of sprung out. Now it's hitting the gas tank. I just got to squeeze it in there. Try to see if I I can get it to pass that lip of the gas tank. It's going. Come on. A little bit more. Some good welds. What do you think? There it goes. Well, that's good enough to go ahead and let it down just to look at the hitch height itself. So let's go ahead and do that. Well, I don't know. Let's get a measurement on it just to see what we're dealing with here. All right, where it is right now, we're 16 inches to the top of the bar. Let's go check one of the other vehicles, see where they're at. All right, I use this hitch a lot to pull smaller trailers, and I'm getting about, see, this tape measure is about worn out, 13 inches there. So this is my Excursion. It's heavy duty, so a little trailer's not going to squat this thing at all. So I'm going to say it's probably going to squat my wagon at least a couple inches, which will put that down. If it was 2 inches, it'd put it down to 14. It's only an inch difference. So I'm going to say we're good. I think if I dropped it anymore, we'd probably be too low. If I dropped it down under the bar, that'd be 2 more inches. Actually, it would be 2 3/4 inches because of the thickness of the bar. So I don't want to do that. That's going to be too low. So we're going to leave it where it is. We're going to start making the mounts to mount it up there where the license plate is and get this thing finished off. Okay, so I got this back up here. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can straighten this bumper a little bit. Right in there is where it's bent. I must have backed into something. Yeah, straighten it a little bit. Yeah, it's a little better. Let's do it again. Shoot. Just like Chip Foose. Well, now that we got the trailer hitch all done, it's time to move on to a lot of the other stuff. We're winding down here. Today is October 6th, and we leave on the 10th. And I've got to work 2 of those days, so not a whole lot of time left to get this car going. But my buddy Israel's coming over this evening after he gets off work, closes his shop, gonna give me a hand on some things. So I got a little bit of time, and I have tomorrow. So all day tomorrow. I think it's gonna be just enough to get everything done. Probably spend most of the morning on Friday, which is the 10th, packing up and getting everything loaded up in the U-Haul trailer. I rented one of those little tiny cube trailers to pull behind this. And so I don't have to keep unloading everything out of the car and back in every time I want to make a pass. So I think it's going to be okay. We're going to make it, but as usual, right down to the wire. Time to put the seat belts in and get cracking on some of this smaller stuff. Okay, here we are under the car, and these are the factory reinforcement plates for the seat belts with the threaded nut on them. No bolts. We've got the bolts to put in them. Hopefully the right pitch and all that. I don't know. We'll see. But got this drill bit here and these vice grips, and we're going to take the torch and heat this up, and then we're going to push it through those holes up through the carpet to create a hole for the bolt. And I don't want to get this cherry red because obviously it could catch the carpet on fire, and I don't want to burn my car down. But I'm going to get it hot enough to burn through the carpet and then cauterize the hole so the carpet doesn't come unfrayed. Essentially, this carpet is made out of plastic, so it can catch on fire, but hopefully we're not going to do that. We do have a bottle of water on standby, and hopefully if we do let it down, we can get it down fast enough and throw some water on it to get the fire put out. But I don't think we're going to start it on fire. But who knows? It'd be exciting. Not the kind of excitement I want, but could be exciting. What I'm going to do to try to prevent the chance of any fire when I push that hot drill bit up through the floor into through the carpeting is I got these wash rags here, and I've got them soaked with water. I'm going to lay them over the carpet in the spot where I'm going to push that drill bit up through there. So hopefully if any fire starts, this will put it out. I'm gonna heat this one up a little bit extra for right now because I gotta pry the tailpipe over a little bit in order to get this up in there. It's right in line. So we'll let it cool off a little bit. It's still pretty red. Come on. They seem to cool down really fast when you don't want them to. All right, let's see what we got. All right. So we got a hole there. Oh, we didn't quite come through there. We'll have to hit that one again. I might hit this one again too. Well, since we got it marked on the top side, if I hit them again, it'll be, I'll hit it from this side instead of the bottom. That way I can know for sure that I've got this hole big enough for the bolt that goes in there. I'm gonna go ahead and hit all the other 3 of these again. We got some smoke. No fire. That's good. Let's see if these bolts will fit down through the holes. Yeah. Oh, that is the right thread too, 1/2-20. Perfect. So all we got to do now is bolt these bad boys up. Seat belts are done. Now we're putting in the overflow tank for the radiator and have it mounted. As you can see there. So now I'm running the overflow hose that goes to the radiator from there. It's got to run all the way across and up and over because this radiator, the overflow, exits to the wrong side. I'm not buying another radiator. I'll just put a longer hose on it. You know, the other thing that caused a problem with this radiator was in the car. I had put it in when it still had the AMC engine in it, and the water pump exited over here on that engine. It was a brand new radiator, and I just built this crossover pipe to run over to go back into the radiator, or into the water pump of the small block Chevy. So this is just another little modification we're going to do because of that. Let me get up here and one of these self tappers in. There's the overflow tank. Done. Moving right along, we're going to move on to some smaller stuff. The parking lights, we're going to put the factory parking lights back in without the bumper because they went in the bumper. So we're going to mount them right up under here, just like this, right in there. So these had some angled, they were L'd out this way, but they had an angle on them that matched this, so they would bolt up to the bumper. I cut those angles, those L's off, and we're going to L them back the other way and put some brackets on there to where we can screw this in to this, whatever this is. I guess it's part of the core support. So we're going to go over here and fab something up to make that happen. Well, we have our parking lots all painted up and our parking lot brackets all painted up. Our places where our holes are going to go for our screws are marked. So we'll jump in here and pilot drill these holes. Get ready to mount these things up. Come over here. Well, looks like we're coming down to the line here. We've got this to put on up under the hood. Already have all the wiring run from the switches on the inside. Got the switches mounted, got the new gauges mounted, tacks wired up, gauges are all wired up. That's all in good shape. I do have to hook the line lock up, which means I have to run one wire from here back around into the engine compartment and run this wire from the line lock unit itself into the engine, or not the engine compartment, into the passenger compartment up under the dash, so that I can hook that line lock up and get it to working. But you know, hey, we're gonna get it done. It's not a whole lot left to do. We're gonna start on putting this in now though.
All right, so we've got
all this wired up now, and it's the moment of truth. I'm going to stick my positive battery cable on here and hope that no smoke comes out of anything. I'm pretty sure I've got it done right, but we're getting ready to find out. You hear nothing cooking? You didn't see no smoke? Hear no clicking? All right, the next thing I gotta do is turn the key on. Let's see. Okay. Still don't see nothing. That's a good sign. Let me start flicking some switches. I'm gonna flick the first switch and see what happens. It sounds like that's the vacuum pump for the wipers. That came on. Radiator fan, fuel pump, only thing left is the line lock. I've got to hook it up under the dash and install the indicator light for it, and then hook up my horn button. Then we'll be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and start the old girl up just to see, make sure it runs all right and everything. Then we'll hook up the line lock. All right, we still got a pretty good mess in here to clean up, but that won't stop us from starting it up. Let's go ahead and see what we got here. I think this was the fuel pump, the third one over. Turn the light on. Yeah, that's the fuel pump. Fan. The wiper vacuum pump is there. We don't need that right now. That's the line lock. Don't need that either. All right, let's give it a couple pumps. Make sure it's out of gear. Oh, battery dead. All right, well. All right. Well, let's go ahead and put a charger on the battery, see if we can get this thing started. All right, we got the battery charger on boost. Let's see if she'll start. Pressure, charging system. Don't know about that yet. That's the coolant. Get out and take a look. that's good. I don't feel any warm wires. So I think we're in good shape. Let's watch for the temperature gauge to come up a little bit, and we'll shut her down for the night. All right, she's been running for a few minutes. Let's check the temperature gauge out. Oh, wait a minute. We got lights. Look at that. It's like Christmas. Warming up. It is 1:20 a.m. I just got finished wiring up the line lock and the horn. I do have one thing left to do with the trailer wiring, but I'm gonna wait until I pick up the trailer tomorrow to make sure exactly what kind of plug it has on it before I put that on. That's not a big deal. It won't take 15 minutes to do that. But let's go inside and look and see if the line lock actually works. I haven't tested it out yet. So let's fire up the car and see if it works. Okay, so I got my button here and my switch down there. Let's go ahead and start the car. All right, let's turn it on. It is on. I think you pump the brakes up good and hard. Push the button. Light came on. Now we should be able to. It works. It won't let it move. Let off. I'll be. Well, I gotta say, I'm extremely happy that that worked. I've never wired one of those up before. It wasn't really that hard to do, but the hardest part was standing here on my head doing all this work under this dash. That was the hardest part. But the last thing I have to do is wire up the trailer wiring for the lights on that, and we're ready to go. So, Sick Smokies, here we come. We ain't fast, but we're gonna be there. Oh, I did forget one thing, the horn. The horn button's right here beside the line lock light. This thing has some pipes on it. I did not realize how powerful that horn was, but it's almost like a train. So I think if I blow that horn, people will get out of my way. Anyway, all we got left to do is pick up the trailer and put the tires on, hook up the trailer wiring, and we're ready to go. We're gonna pack up and go to Sick Smokies. We're gonna put this thing on the highway, 1,500 miles. We're gonna drag race it. We may not be fast, but we are going to have a blast. We're gonna rock and roll.